Hector Lopez, thanks for $5. Hey, EVS, I think your boy changed his name because he's over the SJWs and Comicsgate drama and just wants to focus on the comic medium. All right, so let's talk about that because that's the big news today. That is the shocking shocking news. By the way, Cormoran, thanks for $2. Keto diet sounds like a funky cancer treatment. Yeah, it kind of does. It turns me off for that reason. I don't want to follow a diet. It's just watch what you eat. Just watch your calories. You can use an app, to monitor your calories, but exercise, watch what you eat. All right, so today I got a notification about a new video the Diversity in Comics put up, and I went over to Diversity in Comics and was shocked to find that his page looked utterly unfamiliar. He has a new name. He decided to call himself. Oh my God. Oh, it's all right. I'll be honest about this. I'm going to be honest about it. I hate this. I'm not happy about it, and I told him this. So I'm not. This is not a great idea. It's not a great idea to rebrand yourself. You've put all of this time and energy into diversity and comics. It's a cool as hell name. I love Diversity in Comics. It's a cool name, and people call you Diversity in Comics. What do you want people to call you? Think About Comics now? I don't like this idea. I don't like it. I respect Zach. The thing about Zach is that he's going to do exactly what he wants to do. But I want to make sure, as his friend, that when he does something, he's doing it because it's something that he wants to do and not something that he feels compelled to do or anything like that. If his whole thing is, look, I'm going to focus more of my energy on being, a voice in comics that discusses. And he told me this. He said, I want to talk more about the history of comics. And I just said, oh, my God. All right. We've got 150,000 people who can discuss the history of comics. You understand, comics are going to be history, if not for voices like yours doing what you do. Some weirdo girl said to me, a lot of people say things that are just intended just to hurt my feelings. It's like, I'm going to post something that's deliberately meant to hurt your feelings. It serves no other purpose. It's not constructive criticism. I just want to take a shot at you. And this woman said, I'm a comics historian, and I promise you, you'll be forgotten when the history books are written about comics. I was like, you don't understand. Like, first of all, no, of course not. I'm going to be a legend in comics history if there is a comics history, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, it's obviously I have staked a claim in many different respects as to comics history, and I will continue to. But second of all, comics isn't going to exist anymore. In which case, any history written about comic books is going to be not read by anyone. Nobody is really going to be interested in reading about the history of a medium that has gone defunct, that has gone extinct, that doesn't exist anymore, that doesn't interest the next generation. Unless we can keep comic books vital and relevant, and fun and exciting, then nobody cares about a comics historian and what they have to say. Nobody really cares. I mean, it's just not going to be interesting. It's not going to be something that people are going to participate in. Someday they're going to look back on it, as my God, you're going to be forgotten in the history of what am I thinking of? Before Hollywood, show business that was on stage. What was it called? I can't remember. Doing a lot of juggling acts on stage to entertain peanut brain cowboys. That kind of stuff is not vaudeville. Thank you, vaudeville. You are going to be forgotten in the history of vaudeville. It doesn't matter. Vaudeville went extinct for a reason. People stopped caring and better things came along. And I don't know if it was because of any infighting or anything like that. It's just not relevant anymore. Is it historical? Yeah, but I mean, the only reason you can think to name any vaudevillians these days at all is because they translated their acts onto radio and then onto movies. And then hopefully onto television. People who actually survive, actually outlast, outlive, and progress beyond a dying medium that they initially started in. Vaudeville went extinct, and so somebody like Milton Berle or somebody like that went on to radio, and then for Charlie Chaplin, vaudeville straight on to Hollywood movies. It's like you have to do that. It's like his career on the stage just doesn't mean anything anymore. And I fear that's where comics are going, and they will go that way if it isn't for bright young voices like diversity in comics. I actually told I got lectured by DC Comics at one point, like about my association with Zack. They said, you're associated with this diversity in comics guy, and I was like, he is the most important voice in comic books right now, whether you realize it or not right now, whether you realize it at this moment or not, you will realize it one day. It's like he is the most important voice in comics. So yeah, I'm proud to associate with him. I think he's great. So what is he doing? What's he doing? So he changed his name to Think, in all caps, about comics. And I have no doubt that he stayed up nights thinking about this idea. Think about Zack. But I also don't like the idea of him leaving. I criticized him about leaving Twitter. I thought that was a mistake. Even though I think it was good for his mental health, Zack has always been a dog with a bone. Like he can't let go of fights. He can't just say, I'm not going to, even though what this person said is stupid, I don't have to fight with them. Even though they're wrong, even though I don't have to, I can just move on with my day. He can't do that. He's going to fight. He's going to pick a fight and fight and fight and fight until I don't know what, until he goes to sleep. So that's, that's who he is, and that's what he does. And I think, he feels like leaving Twitter was good for his, well-being, his mental well-being, and I think maybe he feels like the same thing. I suspect that he thinks if he abandons his brand, which might have been tarnished by the media, then somehow that will give him more peace of mind and more ability to change into something that is going to be less the target of media scrutiny and focus. And he's so wrong. He's so wrong. He and I and others in Comicsgate have been given a blessing by you guys. We've been given a blessing by a multitude of fans. I have more fans and more people looking to purchase my work now than I ever did before. People who are out there specifically to buy work because I drew it, not because it's Green Lantern or it's Batman or it's Superman and they were going to buy it anyway, but people who are actually following my career and who are asking me, where is CYBERFROG? Where's Rainbow Brute? What are you going to do after that? Where's Fearsome? Whatever happened to American manga? I mean, it's a blessing. But not only that, but for some reason, this generation of comic book creators who are on the right were actually chosen to by just, I don't know, chosen by fate to speak up and speak out against what's happening in comics right now. He is a political person now. So am I. And what is our, what are we preaching? What are we talking about? We're political voices that are actually fighting politics, just as a whole, like fighting radicalism in comics, fighting this invasion of left wingers who want to just radicalize everything. They want to take over, and they want to basically make these male dominated male hobbies into something that nobody really wants anymore. And they sound like they have good ideas. They sound like they have good reasons, but at the end of the day, their ideas hollow out. They hollow out these wonderful hobbies and leave them kind of bankrupt. So he's got an opportunity to just accept the fact that he is a political figure. He's always going to be the focus of media scrutiny. He's always going to be hated by 50% or more. Who knows? We don't know how big Comicsgate is. It's hard to tell. But he's always going to be hated by this percentage, and so am I, of the comic buying audience. but we are going to be beloved by everyone else. I think that's a pretty good deal. I think it's a really, really good deal. I'm very happy to be in this spot. I'm so happy to be in this spot. And yeah, it sucks. Getting these people who stalk and harass, man, sometimes it does just feel it weighs on you kind of heavily. I talked about how Comicsgate feels like an old dirty coat that you're dragging around that's weighing you down. I talked about that, just that, everything that comes along with it. But I still believe in the principles. I still believe in everything that, we've been saying. I believe in, what he has to say. I know you guys do. I believe in good customer service. I believe in treating customers with respect. And, I believe in producing work that's fun and absent of ideology. Yeah, Hector Lopez says, I think he's over the SJWs and Comicsgate drama and wants to focus on the comic medium. He didn't say that. I said, you know what I said to him? I said, are you abandoning the culture war? He said, no, I'm just attacking it from a different angle. I said, all right. Buzz CJC, thanks for $5. Q SJW's gloating and bragging about Zack now. Well, they did. I hated to have to tell him this. But I mean, I did. I told him this because I feel like, I don't know, man. I said, what they're saying is they're saying that they turned your channel into Reading Rainbow. It's like if you're just going to sit around and review comics and you're not going to comment on the culture, you are a comic book reviewer. And you're supposed to be way more than that. You're just supposed to be way more than that. You're supposed to talk about you're supposed to talk about what's going on in the industry. And, I have to say, I know that he's sad that he got involved in all those Twitter spats and he feels like it was a waste of time. It made him who he was. I don't think it was a waste of his time at all. I think standing up to SJWs, standing up to these NPCs on Twitter is vital. I'm going to do it. I'm never going to stop doing it. And I'm not going to obsessively do it. But as I sit here drawing, every hour or so, I kind of hit refresh on my Twitter. And if I see something egregious, I'm going to go in there and dunk on a stupid SJW. It's important. It's important to not let these people gain momentum and to not let them build up. You have to humiliate them whenever you can. You just have to. And he did a good job at it. The fact that he thinks he wasted his time, I don't know. I guess I don't think I don't. If there was a comic historian, I wish a comic historian who was actually fair and accurate would show him who he actually is in comics. I try to tell him who he is, but I don't know if he listens. He needs some perspective as to who he actually is. He's the Jordan Peterson of comics. I think that's safe to say. What would happen if Jordan Peterson just said, you know what, like, I wasted my time arguing about pronouns and with these crazy authoritarian SJWs. I wasted my time doing all these lectures and tours and arguing with these people and getting into fights and making Twitter videos. And instead, what I really need to do is just get back to teaching. If I just get back to teaching, I can. Listen, Jordan Peterson has a way bigger impact doing what he's doing by getting into public arguments with people and showing exactly the flaws and in the whole left-wing matrix. I mean, actually exposing it and showing these people for who they are and maybe changing their minds, but changing other people's minds as well. That's important. That's a way better use of his time and energy than just simply teaching. And Zack should be doing the same thing. I don't know why he's not writing a book. And why wouldn't he write a book? Why wouldn't he write a book about Comicsgate? That would be excellent. A Comicsgate book. Yeah. Aria says, isn't this a conversation you should have privately with Zack? I already did. But I'm having it again, aloud, because I need to work out my thoughts. I need to work out my thoughts about what he's doing.